Hey there, Cancerian community. Soul Tigress here with a story for this wonderful community. Now, as always, I have no idea what's going to come out, but as I cleanse out the cards, as I call in the ancestors, the spirit guides, the angels, divine and universal energy, I'm picking up a vibe. And what comes in is hidden doors of knowledges within knowledges, not just knowledge. Tough love is needed. Calling it for what it is, being stern, is not cruel. Setting boundaries is not a crime. Headaches, these headaches, what I fear is like, it's almost like in the eyes, a lot of tension in the eyes. Could be due to screen time, possible like eyes irritating. This could be a little bit of optical nerve irritation. I always suggest everybody do their research, but I do love to share what I have learned as well. Yes, these stories are for entertainment purposes, but screen time is the lighting of the screens that irritate our optical nerve, which I believe can produce headaches as well. And then you can go into the tension from the neck when we're on devices for long periods of time. This is all valid information, but as always, go ahead and do your own research. If you work in an office, if you sit in a desk a lot, office ergonomics is really important too, okay? Or even sitting in a vehicle. When you can lessen the pain, the tension of the body, you will be less irritable. And that's what I always like to tell my clients. But yes, Cancerian community, this is the vibe that I'm picking up. So let's go ahead and take a dive in. Let's see what wants to come out. Now, I've gotten a hint about a few things, but let's see. We're doing things a little bit different, and I have to trust in the process. I'm on this ride for this story just like y'all, not knowing what's going to happen. So I do have 3 oracle decks, and when we go into the present, that will be with another oracle deck. Now, the tough love comes at the deck that I use for the block, and usually I deem this my tight-lipped deck, and that's just because Cancerians can be very tight-lipped, there we go, when it comes to speaking about things that bother them to the core. They have such a hard shell that they can deal with a lot. They can be under a lot of pressure, but when it comes to the gooiness inside that shell, not many people really know how they feel at the core of things. But then again, how many people really invest into knowing how a Cancerian feels at the core? So let's start off with the Moonlogy Oracle for the introduction, Cancerian frequency. Let's figure out what's going to happen in this story. So nothing is set in stone yet. This is some mutable energy. Something's going to come to an end, and this something is what pulls at your emotions. It could almost have a Cancerian reacting really quickly, or the Cancerian in this story. What else needs to come out? So there's going to be a new cycle beginning. And it doesn't just have to be romantical or romantic or very, very like physically intimate. This is just a good connection, a good alignment that is coming in. So, but this new start could be stopped. It could be stopped, I say, by this reactiveness. But there's also something here. It could be stopped by not, it's either getting fixed in something and holding your ground to it once you start to build in your confidence in it. Or it could be how do I put this? Your dreams need a practical plan. It's not, you're not seeing it happen. So because you're not seeing how it can happen, you're not believing in it. Because I have the full moon in Taurus here that came in reverse. So that's very interesting here. Still got one more card to go. If you haven't checked out my new moon, full moon interpretation, definitely the full moon this time is in Taurus. We have Taurus pop up. You might want to check out that little tidbit about how these energies around, the celestial energies, can impact us. What lessons they bring to us. It's like a little fun thing with some Greek mythology. But let's continue. One more card. One more card. So something that you're not seeing, or you're at odds ends with, I should say, for the Cancerian in this story, are that the conclusions are reached from within. And this is what's going to help the Cancerian once they realize that, once they step into their personal power, into their confidence. That's what's going to help them align with something new, something better, whatever it is that they really, really, really want. So let's go ahead and keep moving forward. All right, so what needs to come out for the present? What is it, divine and universal energy? You are gracefully aging for the Cancerian in this story. Every little hiccup, every little bump, every little thingy that you may find wrong with yourself, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's a part of who you are. Don't be too hard on yourself. Forgiveness of any faults. Forgiveness of any faults will help you bring yourself to a deeper level with yourself. And whatever this new alignment could be, it could be something of a new depth. But it takes a person to meet themselves at a new depth. All right. So what else needs to come out for the present? This has to do with seeing that future. A new career. A change in the routine. A change. Maybe solidifying some secret dreams, goals, aspirations. Let's see. I'm curious. All right, so forgiveness. Ooh. This weighs heavy, heavy, heavy on the mind. Forgiveness. Can we get a clarity card for the forgiveness? Holy moly. It's stuff that's been balancing, or it's been teeter-tottering at you. It's frustrations, complacency. You have been doing the same thing for too long. If a lawsuit or a court case is pending, you will lose. Lies and intrigue. Someone makes trouble for you. Bad luck plagues you for several months. A major change in your life will improve your outlook. What I'm hearing is something has run its course, but there's still some kind of attachment. This kind of attachment, it's almost like it's linked to the Cancerian stability. We got a lot of earth colors here. We're going from like stripes to spots. It's almost like if you're really doing a big change up, it could feel like maybe you're betraying a part of yourself. It could going against something in a sense because you've been working at something else for so long. All right, so can I get a clarity card for new career? Two things we don't see. One's confused. Definitely we're confused on. So the confusion comes with giving yourself permission and the thoughts to even say, okay, it's okay to think of a new career. Because you stay in this Five of Wands, this competitiveness. Caution, you may have to resort to underhanded methods to get a project pushed through. Competition, greed, lust for power, obstacles, secret oppositions to your plans. A rival challenges your authority. There is no easy way to do this. Arguments will be a part of every day. A frustrating, difficult time ahead. Hassles, bad luck, and nuisance. There we go. Nuisance. I don't know why I want to put on extra stuff, but it sounds funner, I guess. All right, so yeah, you're at conflict. If you go in this direction for the Cancerian in this story, what is the conflict? Who is gonna be mad at me? I mean, if they're gonna be mad at you, they don't understand you. They don't understand that something has ran its course. It's like, I know there's a lot of Cancerians who like to garden. So it's like, would you buy a plant, watch this plant outgrow the size of its pot, but keep the plant in the pot because the pot fits really good with the plant in this ideal spot? If you were to change the pot to a bigger one, say the plant wouldn't fit the same in this ideal spot. So it's kind of like one of those things. I know, like I said, of Cancerians love to garden. They love to get their hands dirty. They're really at one with just working in that dirt like that. And they always do the most for their plants, and that's the best way I can explain it. So metaphorically, if you were the plant and you were taking care of yourself, would you give yourself that limiting belief that you have to stay in this spot even though you've grown so much? Or can you give yourself permission to be basically uprooted and moved into a bigger place where you can continue to grow and receive nutrition, even though it's going to have to be a different spot? That's something to ponder. That is something to ponder. Because if you keep restrictions around you, if you keep yourself in a place where you cannot grow, you will never really reach your full potential. You'll never get really rooted in yourself. Held back. Held back always. Always, always. It's not open. Not open to the places you can go. Ooh. Okay, so let's keep diving. Let's keep diving. We're still swimming here. Whew. All right, what else needs to come out? Here we go. Support. So there's a lack of support. So we got this root chakra here. We have this yellow. We don't have this courage. We don't feel like we have a voice here. Why don't we have a voice? Retirement. Something's been put to rest. What? Adult children. Oh, it's easier not to fight with them. It is easier not to fight with them. It's easier to be in this position and not put them in a different position. It's a little different. I don't know if there is a Cancerian who has Aries. Was it Aries? Or was it Gemini? I think it was Gemini. Might have been Gemini. Gemini in the last cycle. They were getting ready to go on a new adventure, but they were running at odds ends with doing this new adventure because of the people, the situations in their environment. But when they go off and do this new adventure, they gain a skill that they can bring back with them that will help everyone in the environment more. Here, it's a little different. I know from the last story, I believe with Cancerian, is that the Cancerian in this story, or the stories that I have picked up before, especially the last one, is a natural leader. That is one of their destinies, is to be in this leading position. But there's something here. There is something here. You could have fell into the same kind of cycle, same kind of footprint of dealing with the same things as before. It's like you're seeing how you can make things better, but at the same time, there's a lot of reactiveness. And this reactiveness you shut down by really not confronting these adult children, because at the same time, whoever these adult children, they don't bring in support, and they actually they kind of like mess with the throat chakra, to where they give the Cancerian social anxiety, could promote the shyness or even fear of speaking up. And on the other side is, once you can speak up and retire this foolishness, you're really going to ground out in how you feel. But this comes out a softer sense, a very softer sense. Mercy, compassion, acceptance. Could be accepting of who you are and where you're meant to go, kind of thing. Let's keep going. What else needs to come out for the present? What else? Leaving. You don't see yourself leaving because it has to do with the support. There's not an understanding of how to retire out from whatever this Cancerian has been doing. Can I get a clarity card for leaving? This pulls at the solar plexus. So right now with the imbalance, low self-esteem, lack of control, insecurity, procrastination. So when it's imbalanced, though, you will find yourself in confidence, personal power, joy, self-discipline, and motivation. But right now with this imbalance, be warned that the wealth can bring a whole new set of problems. Avoid high-risk projects. They will fail. Theft, financial loss, gambling, losses. Do not take shortcuts. Avoid temporary fixes to your financial problems. Think long-term. Save money. Invest in low-risk adventures. So you got your bills really high. Bills are really high. Excuse me. Bills are high. We're finding reasons to stay where we're at, because right now we know that this is pretty secure. But this retirement and leaving and putting these adult children, what I'm hearing is, in their place as a part of the Wheel of Fortune. Now, you're a little still confused on that this is a part of the Wheel of Fortune. It's a little tiny degree of a turn left, but I'm being pushed to really read this here. Represents the ever-changing cycles of life, both good and bad. Your luck is turning and a new phase of life is beginning. Period of personal growth and extreme change. Success after failure. Destiny and fate will allow you very little control over coming events. All you can do is go with the flow. Promise of a better future. All right, so Wheel of Fortune. Let's take a little sidetrack here. Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy. Jupiter energy goes to Sagittarius. I see. Mutable. Ending of cycles. Shows much about where one's more generous, optimistic side of manifests manifesting, manifestations. So again, this is all for entertainment purposes here. For the Cancerian in this story, you're on track. What you're feeling is the pull. Now, you got to this position for a reason, so that you could receive the pull for the next change. You had to gather the knowledge. You had to go through all the endeavors with whatever it is that you've been in, or whatever little, how do I put it? Same thing of dealing with, or the routine of what career you've been in, stuff like that. These relationships within this career frame, this relationship, this situation, again, is a buildup to where you need to go. The final push into the new investment. And this new investment comes when you start to concrete yourself in your confidence, in your thoughts, and not having second guesses. Like when you go off and you feel something, you're aligned with that subconscious and what it's trying to speak to you, opposed to aligning with just being reactive with what the world's throwing at you. Wow. This is amazing. I told you I'm on this ride with you. Oh my God. All right, so let's talk about the block. What is it that Cancerian is tight-lipped about? What is it at the core of, oh my gosh. Well, I guess we start off that way. Before I closed it, Justice was in reverse, so I will put that out there. Something that not feeling very balanced on it. And this lands all on the contemplation of leaving. It lands on this 10 of Pentacles in reverse, where it's talking about don't take shortcuts, financial problems and stuff like that. So what I have is a 7 of Swords here. The thought of wanting to go into a direction, the thought of how fruitful it can be, but not understanding that there's a choice. Where am I at? There's a choice that could be made. There could be investments that you have now. Investments, how can you invest what you've already worked on, what's already come to fruit? You don't see how you can make these investments in the thought. You don't see how your kingdom is going to align with the way you really want to go, in the heart and in the mind. Phew. Yeah, we're talking about all that. We just talked about all that. Okay. So let me take a second. Let me look at how everything's looking at each other. So your thoughts really revolve around the fulfillment. And that makes a lot of sense, because your fulfillment is that emotional balance. You operate in and out of that. That's one of the water signs, Cancerian superpowers. When you're aligned with that, you're really aligned with your intuition. Now, I feel like with this 2 of Coins, looking back at this 10 of Cups, but the 7 of Swords is looking at this 2 of Coins that are like juggling stuff, but they're on their head about it. It's the overthinking. It's the overthinking. It's almost like the Cancerian in this story, like, will think about that ideal, but then they start to take from it and find reasoning on why it's not meant for them right now. And this is why they don't see how the fruits of the labor, on how they built themselves up, their stability, their groundedness, their security, what they bring in when it comes to wanting to have healthy relationships, have that motivation, that personal power, have that harmony, be able to have communication, confidence with the people that they speak with, the people that they speak with respect them, understand them, and can see that when they have these visions of trying to build more, it's not to take away from the community. Again, this is the insight. A lot of water signs, if not anybody with water in their chart, let's face it, we're like 60 to 70% made of water. We vibrate in intuition. That's a part of us. And for the water signs, y'all pick it up a whole lot quicker than what a lot of people do. And a lot of people can't keep up with that. They don't understand what you're picking up. But that also makes you feel like this is where you end up overthinking. And your thoughts revert back to like, it's one of two ways. It goes back to either, okay, well, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm saying, or it's almost like the arrogance of a child that wants to act out and be like, you know what, an eye for an eye kind of thing. I'm coming for you. And I feel that kind of like with the Emperor here in reverse, because this Emperor does not look pleased in a sense. Not pleased, but on the other side is this Three of Swords in reverse. At the core of this block, the Cancerian feels the truth. It's almost like how much they feel a pull to do something else. It's like it would be mind-boggling to others if others were to experience that feeling and the emotions, this pull. But this is what has Cancerian that ends with others, because when others don't understand, that makes Cancerian step back from themselves. That happens a lot with water signs too. A lot of times y'all get called too sensitive. And that is a great gift to have. What else needs to come out for the block? What else needs to come out? So, thinking about the combativeness of this and not wanting to give yourself permission even to grasp at the concept in the mind that you can go off in a different direction. That you can find what you're looking for within yourself. It's like, with the Hermit in reverse, it talks about trusting others. But I feel like because this is hidden doors of knowledges, this is trusting yourself. I would say for you, for the Cancerian in this story, would not really depend on those others and instead would want to flip this way to where they can go within themselves and feel the vibrations, the intuition that's coming in. What is it? Where am I at on my path? Where is it that I should go? What is best for me? Because we do operate a lot in what's best for work, what's best for the family, what's best for this, what's best for that. Yes, we do have to take care of our responsibilities, but sometimes we get pulled to make changes. And what I gain here too is there is a fear of losing a kingdom. So that tells me there's a fear of if they go off in this direction, and this I guess was Gemini too, that they're afraid that they're going to deplete their kingdom, in a sense, deplete the finances, take too much. And what I'm hearing as a solution here at the right side is that going and looking at the finances and seeing where you can trim from will actually help. So for some people, when gas gets really high, they will save their trips to the stores on the days that they work so they don't have to go out on days that they don't work to expel gas. Another thing is cooking more meals from home. That will help. Trading up some meals with me for meals that have, say, beans in them. This is all for entertainment purposes. Don't forget that. But there are ways to access different videos that will show you how you can kind of trim off your income and save money every month. My little tidbit is I've been having fun going through YouTube looking at different recipes they were cooking during the Depression and stuff, and trying a few recipes out myself and learning some things. And it's honestly saved some money on the grocery bill a little bit, which is amazing. Another reason why I do a lot of my own baking of breads, I do not buy tortillas from the store. I make all my tortillas by hand. Any tortilla that I eat that I don't buy as a burrito or something somewhere else, anyone that I eat at home, homemade. Again, it's to save money. So again, if there's a fear when you go off into this new endeavor that somehow it's going to take from your expenses, well then how can you create a way to trim at your expenses and save so that this impact of the new adventure isn't feeling like it's so much taking? Because it's a given. Anytime you go off somewhere new and when you start, you have to start from the bottom and work your way up. There's always a little struggle at the beginning. That's natural. Anybody who's going off in a career needs time to establish themselves, establish their careers, their foundations and their beliefs or their intentions within that career, and really solidify on what spectrum they're going to go into. So yes, this is going to take some time, but this is a part of your ripening. Ooh. Yes. 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 I'm hearing one more card for the block. What is it that needs to come out? Ooh, ooh, ooh. What is the last card? What is this last card that needs to come out for the block here? What is it? Patience through this journey. Patience, patience, patience. Here we go. So patience when it comes to not going with the group. Patience when it comes into reflecting where you have been. Patience into when you reflect how you're unattaching yourself from things that are not meant for you. Things that are not healthy. It could be where you're at is very stressful, and stress will have its toll on the body, on the emotions, on the mental state. Having patience and understanding that you can create a more nurturing, more developed, more progressive, more adventure, more exploration. When it comes to your gifts, we have this King of Cups here, which represents the water. And I feel like it comes to trusting in yourself, your intuition, being able to nurture that, being able to see it from that higher nurturing view. Giving self permission to make new investments. New investments, especially into that new nurturing view. And it really comes down to aligning with yourself and trusting in your intuition. Trusting in your wisdom that you've gained throughout the years. When you create that trust line with yourself, it's like when a person gets ready to go to sleep at night and they lock up, but then they have to go back and not only check everything once, twice, but it could be up to 3 times. There's a sense that they haven't trusted themselves enough, that they have seen, also can confirm that they've seen, also can confirm that they actually did lock up everything. What happens with that is you operate in a place where you are almost separate with yourself because there's that distrust. There isn't that connectiveness. But when you can bring that trust in and understanding that yourself, your soul being has the best intentions for you, then you bring on this ultimate alignment to where when you deal with adult children, it doesn't matter what they say, how they react, doesn't matter, because you will see things from a higher perspective, a more grounded perspective. But a lot of times when we keep ourselves stuck in stressful situations, we can't gain these perspectives because we're stuck in reactivity and a means to protect ourselves. That's what I'm getting from all of this here. Holy moly. Holy moly. Okay. Okay, well, this makes a lot of sense because you got to have this transformation through the relationships. And for the Cancerian in this story, it's going to be the very personal relationship that you have with yourself. And then how you're going to identify with yourself after you have this transformation. This is something that isn't a race. We got to work on it. This is going to help shape the new year to come when we go into it. So the question is, how do you want to shape it? How do you want to go into the new year with the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you trust yourself? All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the conclusion here with the Cosmic Belief Oracle. This is fitting because there's a lot of beach here. The natural home for Cancerian, but it also brings it back to a lot of uniting with the universe, divine, and with self. So what is it? What is the advice, divine, ancestors, guides, and universal energies? What is it that will help the Cancerian energy? So, coming into view, instead of holding it off, when it comes to being able to go within self, when determining where you want to go, how you want to even think about yourself. The moment I reconnect with love, the universe responded powerfully. Oh, wow. Does love still exist? Is it still a vibration that's out there? Oh, it is. It is. Just give yourself permission to open up to it. I'm not saying, Cancerian, crack open your shell and show us your soft side. I'm saying that just be open to starting to love yourself first. Being open to how you feel, what you're interpreting. And let's go from there. All right, what else needs to come out? Here we go. I let the universe... This is cute. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. Now I see why the aging gracefully here, why this new career is here. Y'all see this with this card? The universe is just making you work on divine timing. I think we talked about that a few stories back. It's saying you're not behind. By no means are you behind. Even if you go off Cancerian into this new endeavor. What you don't see is don't worry about the future. I know everything will be fine. I stay in tune with the present moment. I want to cry because this is so reconfirming. Don't stop believing. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness, that is what's ringing at my ears right now. Another thing that the Cancerian in this story is not seeing is once I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I turn my power towards what I want. Those dark corners are the limiting beliefs that hold you back, the limiting beliefs that have you reactive, the limiting beliefs that could stop a new start from coming. Don't get it twisted. You got to do the work. Everybody has to do the work. Nobody can skip levels. No, I wish I could gain like the knowledge in one level, be able to skip up 5. It don't work like that. Each level we have to take our time with, so we can become the Grand Masters. All right, so let's make yourself the Grand Master at being able to understand yourself. Something you don't see it and that you're at odds ends with, especially when it comes to releasing attachments to the past, attachments to directions you have been, or maybe the disappointment that you can bring in. To start practicing, I have to get out of the way and let my spirit guide me. Oof. Oof. Well, if you're going to trust in yourself, you got to get out of yourself's way. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Universal energies. Whew, some messages here. All right, last card to round it out. Ooh, it says more than one. It's not done yet. All right. So something that we don't see and that we're at odds ends with is when I make happiness a priority, smart ideas come naturally. Support surrounds me and actions take shape. That first investment starts in the thoughts. Remember, giving yourself that permission. Oof. All right, something that Cancerian is at odds ends with is when I surrender my will to the care of a spirit and the universe. I align my energy with the ever-present flow of happiness. When you surrender attachments to specific outcomes, to ideal relationships, to even the ideal way of others treating you, you are able to step in the present moment. You are able to release constrictions and be open to others. And there could be a sense where you realize that these adult children are acting like fools, and it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and their unhappiness on their journey because they're not doing the work. Ooh. Ooh. Last card, something that is not seen, something that is also heavily blocked. When I am grateful. When I am grateful for what I have, I feel good about achieving my desires. This one's a hard one. This is a hard one, especially when you're between a hard place and a rock. When you can't really solidify your dreams. When you can't solidify any blessings that are around you, even when you're showing up to the situation every day. Think about it. Think about it. If this is going to go a little morbid. If you didn't wake up here tomorrow, and I ask that you don't think about this in a reactive manner. Take it with you a little bit later. If you don't wake up tomorrow, what would you be sad about that you wouldn't be able to experience? There's a lot of blessings here that keep us here for a reason. There's times where I even get at odds ends with reporting to work. But I like having food on my table. I like having a roof over my head. I like being able to show up for the people I am responsible for or I want to show up for. You know, being able to move in certain ways is a blessing. Not everybody can move in the same ways that I move, and I know that. Being able to wake up in a bed with blankets. being able to have a toilet, being able to do my dishes in a sink with hot water. That's all a blessing. I reflect on a lot of this because there was a time I had to live in my vehicle for a small moment, but it still brought it brings me back to how much I really have. How much I have. And in this time I was living in a vehicle, it's just because I was transitioning from one place to another. But still, we don't realize how many blessings we have around us. Even if it's like reporting to something that we don't like, the fact that we are still given an opportunity to go there, in a sense, to get what we need to get, earn what we have to earn, whatever it is a blessing, or even having the means to do it. But what happens is we get put between a hard place and a rock, so that it pushes us out of our comfort zone. And this Taurus full moon energy is all about Taurus being stuck in their comfort zone. And this is how it's going to fluctuate in this Cancerian energy for this time around in this month, especially with the full moon just right there. Either it's happened today or it's happened a few days ago. Yeah, it just depends on when this gets released. But check it out. I did a new moon, full moon interpretation. And when you listen to the mythology behind the Taurus, it kind of makes sense on the stubbornness on trying to remain in a comfort zone. And it will make sense for this Cancerian when it comes down to going off into a new endeavor, but running at conflict with self when it comes to stepping outside the comfort zone. All right, I feel like I'm rambling, so this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for hanging around. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for showing up and helping dish out these positive messages. And I hope y'all have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.